Hello, my friends. Welcome to my spiritual sanctuary. My name is Sandra, and if you are joining me for the first time today, I want to say welcome. So glad that you could stop in for this topic. And if you like what you hear and you want to come back, then please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell on the side, and then you'll be notified of all my future videos that come out. And if you are returning, I want to say thank you. I am so appreciative of your patronage. So today I am going to talk about something a little bit different than what I normally do on Feng Shui Fridays, and also with my tarot card readings, which will be continuing coming up for October. But today, Spirit came in and gave me a message that I could not ignore. It's a very important message for women, young ladies, and men alike. In the recent news, we have heard about Gabby, Petito, and Brian Laundrie and the situation with her disappearance and murder. And they have been unable to locate Brian as of today, which is October 3rd, 2021. But I want to talk a little bit about that situation, because I have been in that situation before where I thought my life was going to be in danger when I was in a relationship with someone. And I want to talk about it because Spirit is guiding me, and the divine is saying that this message needs to get out to other people out there. So if I can help somebody somehow, some way avoid what happened to Gabby, then I want to do that. Yesterday, I was on YouTube and found out there was another lady here in the Florida area that was murdered by a boyfriend. Her name is Mia, and apparently he committed suicide. There's more and more of this dating violence, they call it domestic violence, going on in these younger age groups, okay? But it happens in my age group as well, because I just went through it and I'm in my 50s and 60s. I had to get a restraining order, went for a protection order, and that was in 2018 was the first one, on a man who was abusing me physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It doesn't happen very profoundly. It happens over time, and it's very subtle. It's almost like the Pavlovian technique, where it's a drip system, a little at a time. They keep wearing at you, telling you you're crazy, telling you you have a mental condition, telling you this is wrong with you, that is wrong with you. And it's over time. And this is what these control freaks do, and narcissists is what I would label it, okay? So when I looked at the video of Brian Laundrie and Gabby, I saw a young spirited woman, 22 years old, that was coming into her own power, and he didn't like it. He wanted her all to himself, and he was going to do anything he could to control that. When we look at that body camera of when they were pulled over by the police, and he's been hitting her before that, okay? The first sign that somebody is hurting you physically, you need to cut all ties. Never go back, because once they do it once and you go back, you are giving them permission to do it over and over and over again. Because believe me, once they do it once, they will do it again and again, which in my case is what happened. Until I had to cut all contact with him and everybody that knew him and not go back to be treated like that, okay? And that is the mistake that Gabby made, is she did not leave. She should have called her parents and got away from him when the cops separated them that night. When you look at that video and you see that she is so upset and she keeps blaming herself, it's because she's been a victim of the constant gaslighting. She's been a victim of the constant demeanors from this man. And he looks innocent. You would never think anybody that looks like Brian Laundrie would hurt especially his fiance. But one of the things that you learn after you've gone through this is, when I looked at his body language when the cops had pulled them over and separated them apart, what you will notice is that he never once did he care about the way Gabby was feeling. Never once did he admit that he did anything wrong. And 3, he was smiling through the whole thing. A very serious situation. She is crying her soul out and he's smiling. Now, the police don't pick up on cues like that for some reason, but they did separate them. And I thought it very odd that they would blame her because he had scratch marks when there was a call that had specifically said that he was hitting her. So I think there's a lot of mistakes that were made that day, because they may have saved Gabby's life if they had separated permanently. She got on a plane and went back, or got in her van, because I understand the van was registered in her name, and just left him there and went home. But as women, we are not taught to be strong. We are not taught to stand up for our own rights when somebody's abusing us. We don't pay attention to the red flags. We nurture, we love, we forgive. That is what we're taught, right? Especially an empath like Gabby. And I'm an empath. I feel everything. So I sometimes take on the hurt and pain like it's my own. But the last time I let myself become abused was 18 months ago, when I called the police for the last time and had him taken out of my apartment because he had a knife in his hand and he was cutting all the wires on my air conditioning system. And I knew that if I approached him, I was going to be cut with that knife next. And that had not been the first time this had happened. I had been physically abused 3 times before that, with bruise marks all over me. But because I forgave and I let him back in my life, because it was a pure, I forgive you, I will give you another chance. And that's what, as women, that's what we do, and that's what we can't do. That poor Mia who's murdered now, she should have never opened her apartment door to this abuser that killed her. Pay attention to the red flags. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. I am so passionate about this subject because I could have been a statistic very easily. I was strangled, I was beaten, And the only reason I don't have a restraining order today is because they couldn't find him, just like they can't find Brian. But would I open my door again to an abuser? No way. And now that I have educated myself on narcissism, abuse, domestic violence, dating violence, because that's what the law called it, you have got to cut these people out. And I don't care if it's a woman or a man. It can happen both ways. But typically it's the men are the abusers because they want power over somebody who's not performing the way they want them to perform. They will isolate you from family and friends. They will lie about you to everybody that you know. So get ready for that when you cut somebody off. But you've got to be strong and allow your life to go forward without them and not worry about what they're doing anymore. Just go forward on your own path. Make yourself, make your own way, focus on your finances. And if you can save money to leave an abusive situation, then I would suggest you do that. If you have children together, then you find a third-party intermediary so that there's supervision of the kids at all times, because this person is abusive and you have no further contact. There is no halfway to this. I wish there was. There's no being friends afterwards. There's no physical contact ever again. These are soul ties, and these soul ties must be cut permanently because these people do not know how to have healthy relationships. They do not know that. They are not somebody that you can say, I forgive you, and they will never do that again. They just don't know how. And they have families that support them. Everybody in his family knew he was beating me and hitting me and hurting me, and nobody did anything about it. I had friends that knew what was going on and did nothing about it. They're not my friends anymore. Those people that will support you in those times are the ones that will be there for you through thick and thin, and those are the ones that you associate yourself with. Other than that, let everybody that is associated with an abusive situation go. You have to take care of yourself. You cannot depend on the system. Call the domestic abuse hotline and they will refer you to a shelter, or they will refer you to the tools that you need, but ultimately it's got to be you that does it. And you have to stay strong, and you cannot have contact again. Cut all contact permanently. I have to get this message out, especially now we're in Libra season, and this is all about relationships. And I think a lot of us are seeing things in the world that we don't like. And it's because we're not informed. So I felt like I needed to say something about this situation, because if it helps one person out there, then God has given me the right signal to speak my truth and get this word out there. Spirit kept telling me over and over again to put a message out there and to start helping other women and men that are in this situation, because I have been strong for 18 months and not gone back. And I'll tell you, my life is amazing now. I am one of the survivors. So if I can help anybody out there, I would be more than happy to coach you through it. and be by your side so you don't make the mistakes that Gabby made, or Mia made, or any of the people out there that go back. Gabby has come to me because, you know, if you've been on my channel, I am a medium. I do connect with the other side. Like, she's been visiting a lot of us. And one of the things that she said to me a couple weeks ago, right after we found out what was happening, she said, this was an accident that was not supposed to happen. Now, we still don't know how she died. But what we do know is that it shouldn't have happened. So let's be strong. Be there for those around you that need help. If they are in a situation where they are being strong-armed by somebody, pay attention to the red flags. When something doesn't feel right to you, pay attention and get away. Trust that inner knowing, that inner intuition that comes to you from the blue. If something comes to you and you know that it does not feel right, get away. You're never wrong. We just ignore our intuition more than we pay attention to it. Believe me, I pay attention to everything now. Everything. And I live my life according to my intuition. And I don't care what anybody else thinks about that. Because this is my life. And I am not here to please anybody else but God. It's me and God. Just like it's you and God. You come into this life alone and you will leave alone, but God will always be there for you. Don't let anybody take you out. Don't let anybody take your life away from you. We all come in with a birthright to be the people that we were meant to be, and nobody has the right to take that away. Nobody has the right to control another individual. If you're a parent and you're raising children, that's different. But nobody has the right to lay a hand on you and get away with it. That is not okay. Nobody has the right to gaslight you and tell you you're crazy and what you know to be true in your heart is not right, it's not true. Or to make you believe you have a mental illness because they want power and control. Do not let anybody get away with those things. You trust your gut. You trust your intuition, and you live your life according to your divine connection to a higher power and nothing else. I wanted to get this message out today because God wanted me to say something about this situation, because it has gotten out of hand on the external world. And what I have experienced on the internal world is important. If it helps somebody out there, then thanks. Thank you, God. So that's all I have today. And I know I'm not my normal cheery, loving, happy, but I am happy. I have an amazing life. I'm so happy with the way I've turned my life around since that time. And the thing is you do things out of love. And when you get hurt for that, you know, That's why I stay single now. And I would advise you, if you are getting out of an abusive relationship, to stay single for a while so you can heal. At least a year. Heal your heart, take care of yourself, allow yourself time to get over the trauma, because it is trauma. Do not go back. Do not go back to trauma bonding. Watch videos on the professionals that are talking about narcissism, that are talking about domestic abuse, soul ties, and becoming an independent soul, because that is what is needed in that situation. So I want to thank you for listening. I am not going to keep it too long. I just wanted to get the message out there because I felt it was important for everyone to hear. Okay? So I want to wish everybody love and light and a wonderful week ahead, and pay close attention to my videos coming out for the astrology signs. Okay? We are going to be doing them, even though it's Mercury in retrograde and it's Libra season. I feel like the universe is telling me to do the readings for all the zodiac signs for October. So watch for those. And until we meet again, my friends, stay healthy, safe, protect yourself, love yourself, practice self-love, and stay in the light. Namaste.